You don't owe anyone clarity. You don't owe them reasons. And you definitely don't owe them access to your mind. The moment you stop explaining yourself, people feel uncomfortable. Not because you're wrong, but because they can no longer control the story. Explanation was never about understanding. It was about permission. Permission to judge you. Permission to question you. Permission to decide whether your choices were acceptable. And the day you stop asking for that permission, everything changes. Most people believe explaining yourself is a sign of maturity. They think it shows emotional intelligence. They think it makes them look reasonable. But psychologically, it does the opposite. The moment you explain, you put your decisions up for negotiation. You tell people, here's my thinking. Feel free to approve or reject it. And once you do that, you no longer own your reality. You invite judgment. You invite debate. You invite people to poke holes in choices that were never theirs to question. Watch closely. The more you explain, the more people interrupt. The more they doubt you, the more they feel entitled to your life. Because confidence doesn't over-justify. Confidence doesn't over-communicate. Confidence doesn't need to convince. Real confidence moves quietly. Powerful people don't argue their position. They don't persuade. They don't defend. They decide. And silence? Silence creates discomfort. Because when there's no explanation, people are forced to sit with uncertainty. And uncertainty makes people nervous. Because without information, they lose leverage. The moment you stop explaining yourself, 3 psychological shifts happen instantly. First, projection. When you go silent, people start filling the gaps themselves. They project their own fears, their own insecurities, their own assumptions onto you. And without realizing it, they reveal who they are. Silence turns people into mirrors. Second, unpredictability. When you stop explaining, you become unreadable. And unpredictability is power. When people can't read you, they can't manipulate you. They can't plan around your emotions. They can't trigger you on demand. You stop being reactive. You stop being predictable. And that alone shifts the entire dynamic. Third, your energy comes back. No more mental exhaustion. No more replaying conversations in your head at night. No more rehearsing explanations. For people who already decided not to understand you, you stop leaking energy. You stop performing. You stop proving your worth. Silence isn't weakness. It's self-trust. It's saying, my actions will speak. The results will speak. I don't need to. And insecure minds hate that, because silence can't be controlled. Here's the part no one talks about. When you stop explaining yourself, some people will leave. Not because you changed, but because the dynamic did. They were comfortable. When you over-explained, when you sought validation, when you tried to be understood, your silence removes their influence. And you'll notice the changes quickly. Fewer arguments, fewer pointless conversations, less emotional chaos, more space, more clarity, more control over your time and mind. Slowly, something powerful happens. Respect replaces validation. People listen differently when they know you won't chase understanding, because explanation begs to be accepted. Silence assumes you already are, and once you operate from that place, don't need to dominate conversations. You don't need to announce your confidence. Your presence does the talking. Your calm becomes unsettling. Your boundaries become obvious, and your absence becomes noticeable. Here's the final truth most people can't accept. Being misunderstood is not dangerous. Being emotionally reactive is. Strong people don't rush to correct narratives. They don't explain their intentions to everyone. They don't fight every false assumption. They stay grounded. They stay consistent. They let time expose the truth. Because explanations fade, but patterns don't. When you stop explaining, you stop giving strangers access to your inner world. And that's where real power lives. The strongest move you'll ever make is letting people misunderstand you while you remain unshaken, not correcting the story, not defending your truth, not proving your intentions, just standing firm while the noise fades. That's not arrogance. That's discipline. That's emotional intelligence. That's self-mastery. And once you master that, you don't chase respect. You don't beg for understanding. You don't explain your power.